Plastics that are contaminated and hard to recycle, heavy crude that is too thick to move through a pipeline and therefore logistically challenged, renewable oils that need upgrading before they're worth much. Three challenges, three separate industries, no obvious connection between them, but underneath the same chemical obstacle. The molecules are just plain too big. Now, one company with its technology platform is addressing all three of these challenges across markets worth hundreds of billions of dollars. I'm Peter Gastrike, Managing Director of Energy Transition and Sustainable Investing at Water Tower Research. We're initiating coverage of Aduro Clean Technologies, ticker ADUR on the NASDAQ and ACT in Toronto. Aduro spent more than a decade turning unusual chemical phenomena into a multi-application chemistry platform. It's called hydrochemolytic technology. It's patented, water-assisted, runs at low temperature, and performs very selective bond scission on large hydrocarbon molecules, deconstructing them into smaller, more valuable ones. That single mechanism connects all three problem feedstocks. Among them, plastics is closest to revenue, but each has enormous potential in its own right. Three key takeaways from the report. First, this is a step change in hydrocarbon chemistry. Nearly every company chemically recycling plastic uses pyrolysis, a technology roughly 75 years old. That works when feeding fuel markets and is being pursued for sustainable aviation fuel, but when the destination is a steam cracker and new plastic, it carries structural limits. Much of the material never gets there, and what does needs a costly hydrogenation step first. Aduro's chemolysis pathway is different. Far more carbon ends up as usable cracker feedstock, and the paraffinic output goes straight into existing infrastructure. And the economics work at a fraction of the scale competing plants require, which changes where a plant can go and what it can afford to take in. Second, demand is on track to be written into law just as the competitive field thins out. Europe's packaging regulation brings in recycled content requirements from 2030, and only output destined for new plastic earns credit, quietly rewarding high-yield pathways. Meanwhile, several pyrolysis competitors have exited or scaled back, and Aduro isn't the only one vouching for it. Shell, Total Energies, and George Fisher have all paid to test the technology. Third, one platform, several markets, and a path to scale without building at all. The same chemistry upgrades heavy crude and bitumen into transportable oil, turns waxy crude into something a pipeline will accept, and lifts renewable oils into specialty chemicals. Each is upside on research already done. The first industrial plant is targeted for a world-class chemical hub in the Netherlands, commissioning in 2028, followed by both company-owned and JV deployments in the EU and the Americas, and then layering in capital-light licensing and royalty streams. Aduro is debt-free, funded through its next milestones, and run by a team with 34% insider ownership. The chemistry is a step change, the regulatory clock is running, and the commercial pathway is defined. Our forecasts track EBITDA scaling north of 1 billion Canadian dollars within 10 years. For a deep dive into the technology, markets, and forecasts, visit watertowerresearch.com. I'm Peter Gastrike for Water Tower Research. Thank you for listening.